Monday through Friday. Time is unknown, but I'm going to do it Monday through Friday, live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, and then with another one on Instagram as well. So, hey, I'm Russell of Hotels. I do these lives, like I said, every Monday through Friday. I do several things. Content creator, hotel site selection person, hospitality personality, which means, you know what, you can't have one of these shows. You can't come on and do a live without having some type of personality, right? Or some type of personality. But I do come with a wealth of experience. So I don't just come on here and take it lightly that, hey, I'm this hospitality personality, whatever the heck that even means, right? But no, I do have years of experience in the industry. Let's just say between 25 and 30 years of experience, starting as a housekeeping manager, work my way up to general manager with a stop in, sales, director of sales and marketing, front desk, front office, some food and beverage, all that stuff in between. So, but anyway, I mean, that's just, that not that I talk about all that, not that it really all matters. Well, I guess it does matter because it establishes some credibility, right? So it's not just someone just coming on here just spewing out information that he or she has no knowledge of, right? So anything that I share on these lives is based on my experiences, not based on what people have told me, not based on what I read in a book. It's based on basically everything that maybe I've experienced, or at least have enough sense to get information from the right people, if you will. Hey, Craig, I appreciate you joining. Hey, just in case you guys did not know, I do welcome conversations, or I welcome engagement. So please feel free to make comments. Just type in the little comment box, the chat box, whatever information you want to throw out there, where you're from, who you are, whatever, and then I'll make sure I put them on the screen. So like right there, Craig says, hey, that's Craig Giangrosso. He's out there in the Houston, Texas area. So I appreciate you, Craig, for, kind of popping on and just supporting me. I do appreciate that. So like I said, I do these lives. They're all about hospitality, something that has to do with hospitality. If that's hotels, if that's restaurants, if that's, what is hospitality, what things are going on within the industry, because, there's always a lot going on in the industry. Is this, do you want to talk about it or not? That kind of thing. So there's a couple of things that popped up. But first, I want to thank a couple of people. First and foremost, I want to thank Miss Cheryl Rogers. A lot of you guys know who she is, but we collaborate a lot together. She's actually a client of mine, so we collaborate on that. But we collaborate on a couple of social media like shows that we do. One is called What the Hell, that we do on Friday nights on Instagram, right? So we share these what the hell moments, what happened to us during the week or whatever. And a lot of them are geared around that hospitality aspect because that's our connection, hospitality. But with that being said, she came through for me on a couple of things, right? So I give Cheryl a hard time, right? So especially when she doesn't show up to do what the hell, right? So I give her a hard time on that. But when I ask her for things, she always comes through. So I ask her, I'm involved in this organization called Special Needs Network here in Los Angeles. That's where I'm located, Los Angeles, just in case you did not know. Well, it does say it at the bottom. But I'm involved with this organization for about 15 years. I guess going on 15 years. And every now and then, I donate my time, my effort or whatever to help set up or to do whatever. Well, as of late, the last several years, they've asked me to, can you, get some gift certificates and things like that for their silent auction or whatever. And then normally it's hotel room stays or whatever. So not having been to a lot of networking events and things like that where they give these things out, right? Cheryl does that, right? So she goes out, so she probably has a huge treasure chest of things, right? So what I did was called her and said, hey, Miss Rogers, is it possible? I've got to run, but really looking forward to hearing you in the future. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let me see who that is. Hold on one second. See, I love this. I love this. I love when people make comments. I just don't know who that is because they have not. There's certain things you got to do in order for people to be seen, but I'm going to see exactly who that is. Just bear with me for a second. That was Tracy Stoltz. I've got to run, but thank you so much, Tracy. I appreciate that. I really do. But yeah, so you can listen to the replay. I do these every day, Monday through Friday. I also do a show called On Air with Russell of Hotels, which is my live hospitality talk show that comes on every Tuesday. And you can go on my LinkedIn page and just look at the replays of all that stuff. So I do appreciate you coming on and making comments. That's what it's all about, right? So anyway, so I want to thank Miss Cheryl Rogers because Cheryl Rogers came through for me, which she always does, right? So I asked her, I said, hey, the time has come and, I need some auction items for this organization called Special Needs Network. They do a silent auction. It's a fundraising event. Special Needs Network is devoted to families with kids that have autism. So, it's all about the resources. Certain areas or communities don't have the resources that others do, right? Well, the Special Needs Network is trying to even that playing field, if you will. So, but they can't do that without funding and money and things like that. So they do a big gala event. The Special Needs Network's been going on for about 15 years, and they do this every year as a fundraiser. So they rely on me to get donations from hotels, and that can be in room nights. I mean, not room nights, but gift certificates and things like that for overnight stays or food and beverage, whatever the heck it is. It doesn't matter what it is. But she came through with a couple of things for me, right? One happened to be a Delta Airlines certificate, and she sent me a bunch of stuff. So she gave me like a whole care package that she sent me. She FedExed this huge big ass box of stuff in there, right, that I can utilize for that. The Delta Airlines and a hotel stay were in the box. We're in the content of the box. So those are the things I'm using for that. But she also threw in like some logoed shirts from her company and organization that she works for. I'm keeping that, right? So and then like a big notepad or whatever. So I appreciate that stuff, right? So I always tell people, you can never thank people enough, right? Because people can do anything with this stuff. That's her stuff, right? She didn't have to donate it. She didn't have to give it to me. But I asked her, and she said, "Yeah, I'll send it to you." So I do appreciate you, Cheryl, for doing that. I know she's traveling today, and she's probably not listening to this now, but I know she'll listen to it later. But thank you so much, Cheryl. I know I give you a hard time about a lot of stuff. I talk a lot of crap, but I do appreciate you. When I ask you, you do come through, and I do appreciate that. So I got that one out, right? So another person I wanted to mention was Jana Divine, right? Or Jana Divine Hospitality, Jana Usher, but her company is called Jana, that's Zana, Divine Hospitality. Now she does training for hospitality training, restaurants, as well as hotel people, just total hospitality people, right? So in the restaurant, as far as, maybe getting that ticket average up, maybe more marketing the food or upselling and things like that, or how to serve and how not to serve, all those kind of things. She teaches that. What about front desk etiquette? What about, what the bellman should be doing? How should they receive guests? What about the valet parkers? How should they receive guests coming into the hotel? So she does all that kind of training, right? So I know her from LinkedIn, right? So years, I'm saying maybe 3 years, I've known her on LinkedIn. And, that's a different kind of relationship. Okay, you build that relationship online, but you really don't know them in person, right? So fast forward from 3 years ago to yesterday, right? So we have been trying to get together to meet for lunch. She lives in Southern California in the LBC, Long Beach. So she said, hey, we have some time, because we had tried to set this up before, but it fell through. And yesterday was the day we're supposed to meet, right? So we actually met. So we went to a restaurant out there on 2nd Street in the LBC, had a great time. So it's great to meet people in person, just to network, just to kind of, to build that relationship even further. So yeah, it started on social media because we have similar interests as far as hospitality is concerned. But we know, you can only go so far on social media, right? So it's good. Every now and then you have to meet people, right? Just, during COVID, we were, reintroduced or maybe introduced to another level as far as Zoom calls and all that kind of stuff. Well, now that stuff is, behind us, now's the time to kind of, if you can get out and meet people. I'm still a big proponent of social media, will always be, but when you can meet somebody, I think that's a good thing, because I think that relationship that you built on social media, I think gets stronger over time. And And who knows, we'll probably collaborate on a lot more stuff now moving forward. Not that meeting had anything to do with that, but you have a different connection. When you meet somebody, there's a different connection, right? So especially when you vibe, with each other. So that's good. And I think we've always vibed on social media, but now we vibe in real life, right? So and live in color, if you will. So it was good to spend, hour and a half or whatever over lunch and whatever, just talking about, and it just wasn't all about business. It was about life, life challenges and being an entrepreneur and how the grind is. And, we may see maybe the product or where he or she is now, but we don't know what it took to even get to that point. We always look at we think it's the end product, right? Like, oh my God, he really has it going on. He's doing this and he's doing that, but you don't know the grind before we even got there, right? So, and people, they'll say things to me like, oh my God, you're doing this and this is so great and blah blah. Yeah, but I'm nowhere near finished. You know what I mean? I'm nowhere near where I need to be. There's a lot further that I need to go before I can say, hey, okay, now I'm good. But no, I think you should be, as an entrepreneur, you're always hungry to reach that next spot. Because like I said, I'm nowhere near where I need to be. I have goals set for myself, just like Jana has goals set for herself where she wants to be, right? So it's always good to bounce things off of like-minded people, especially if you're an entrepreneur. And everything is based on you getting things done, right? Not based on you waiting for somebody to do things for you. It's based on you making things happen, right? And it's always good to share those things with someone, because you're in the world of entrepreneurism, you think you're out there by yourself, right? You think, well, you may do something that's unique, but getting out there is a grind, right? It's tough to start, right? And to have someone else that you can bounce things off of, maybe, I'm not doing something as far as billing that maybe she's doing, and maybe she gave me a little advice on this is what I use, and this is a platform that I use for my billing and all that. All that stuff matters, right? So you got to build these communities, right? So I'm just glad that, we connected some years ago. We've collaborated on doing lives. We collaborated on, she's been on my show. So we've talked about a lot of things, but now we've taken that to another level where we actually met in person. And, now we get a chance to talk about the business aspect of what's working for you, what's working for me, what doesn't work, what don't I like as far as this or that or whatever, or what's my perfect client and all this kind of stuff. So that way we can glean off of each other and we can help each other out, right, in each other's business. And that's what it's all about. So it's all about building that tribe, if you will. So it was great. So thank you, Jana, for, giving me that time. Like I said, we spent about an hour and a half together yesterday in the LBC, and she picked a great restaurant called, what's it called? Open Sesame. It's like a Mediterranean. It's not like a Mediterranean restaurant. It is a Mediterranean restaurant. And they got the non-meat eats, right? You guys know I'm about the non-meat eats, meaning I don't eat meat, just for people that just happen to be joining. I don't eat meat. I have a vegan diet, right? So vegan life. Well, yeah, vegan diet. My lifestyle is not vegan, but my diet is, okay? So meaning what I eat is vegan. So they had a lot of vegan options, so it was very good. I went with the falafel, just in case you wanted to know, right? Went with the falafel wrap, as well as, I don't know, there some type of potatoes. Jana just said, oh, these potatoes are amazing. You have to have them. I'm like, okay. They were amazing. Okay, I don't know the name of them, though. They're just, I just started calling them amazing potatoes because that's what she said. So, but anyway, no, thank you again, Jana, and thanks, Cheryl. And then, one other, I just want to give a shout out to Miss Lauren Brown, right? Miss Lauren Brown has a company called Reimagine Hospitality. Now, she's like a third generation hospitality person, right? Meaning her mom and dad met in the hospitality space, right? And so I guess it's only natural for her to transition into hospitality as well. So her dad was a chef. He's retired. Her mom worked, I think she worked food and beverage. And Lauren is, I think she's a coordinator with the hotel in the Houston area, but she's been in hotels for the last 10 to 12, 13 years. Well, anyway, she shared with me an article that I can't think of the publication that wrote it for. I'm sure Dylan, who just came on, would probably remember because he remembers everything, and I'm glad that he does because he lets me know. But she was there's an article that was published, I think, a couple of days ago. I just happened to see it yesterday. Well, she gave it to me before it even came out. You guys didn't know that, right? So I was the first one to see it. But I'm just so proud of her. So I appreciate her sharing that story with me. And then she's one of the few people that will take that employee rate and use the hell out of it. Okay. So she works for a hotel, right? I think she works for 2 hotels. But anyway, she takes advantage of those employee rates, the employee discounts that, when you work for IHG or I can't think of other companies you work for, or if you work for Hilton or Marriott, whatever, as an employee, you're entitled to, employee discounts when you travel and go to different hotels. Well, she takes that stuff to heart and she goes and, and takes advantage of it, which a lot of people don't. I mean, they may do it every now and then, but no, Lauren makes sure every month she's somewhere different. She's just in Atlanta. She's been out here to LA several times. She's been to San Diego, San Francisco, Napa. I mean, she's been everywhere. In Dallas. I mean, she's been everywhere with this employee discount. And that's what it's all about, right? Just trying to, unwind and get your head right. And a lot of times we don't do that. We don't take advantage of that. We think we have to work. I understand that. It's a constant grind. I understand that. But you got to take time for yourself. And definitely she takes time for herself. So, and the story was fire. So make sure, I think Dylan's hopefully he lets me know what it is. But if you just follow Lauren on LinkedIn, okay, follow Lauren Brown, Loren Brown, of course, the color brown, on LinkedIn, right? And you'll see the article. Now, she just posted today. Dylan says, well, let me just post this comment first. This was from This was from Tracy Stoltz. It says, I got to run, but really looking forward to hearing from you in the future. I appreciate that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. Because I'm going to put your comments up here. So, you know what I mean? So, because I appreciate that people actually will come on and make a comment. And Dylan says, what did Dylan say? Dylan always got something. Let me see. Come on. Where's the comment, Dylan? Spicy garlic potato, cilantro garlic. How do you know this? Dylan wasn't at the restaurant, okay? I guess I gave the name Sesame, Open Sesame, right? So that's the restaurant we were at, and that's the spicy garlic potatoes. And they had cilantro, garlic, tossed, roasted chili, and lemon juice. Oh, man. You talking about, they were amazing. And Jana, she hit it. She said, oh, the potatoes are amazing. You have to get them. And I said, okay, yeah, let me get the amazing potatoes. Yeah, okay. Well, I did get them, and they were amazing. So thank you, Jana, for letting me know that those potatoes were amazing. And thank you, Dylan, for letting me know what the heck it was. Only Dylan, right? Only Dylan. But see, so I wanted to thank those people. And then Lauren mentioned something also. It had to do with and this may take a couple of minutes to kind of explain, I think. It had to do with college versus non-college, right? And going into the hospitality industry. Now, I may be paraphrasing this, but it was a question that she posed on LinkedIn yesterday. So it had to do with average salary coming out of school, out of college, for a college graduate who's coming into the hospitality industry was $38,000. I guess that's now, right? $38,000. That's the average salary someone that's graduating with a degree in hospitality management can expect, right? So, and she said, basically the question was, should you go to school? Because, some people acquired, debt because of student loans and all that kind of stuff. And then you compare it, and of course it's compared to all the other industries, coming out of school first year or whatever. And it took me back, right? When I saw that, and basically the question was, it was an open question because she wants feedback. Is it worth it? Basically, is it worth it to go to college, get this degree, but only make X amount of thousands of dollars compared to all these industries? Okay. So it took me back. It took me back years ago when I went to school and figured out that hospitality was the route that I wanted to take, right? So, so I did that, right? So, and I remember, and I made the comment on her on her LinkedIn page, and I started off my salary. My first salary when I first started out years ago was $17,900. Okay, but it wasn't a to me. First of all, 17,900 was all the money in the world to me, right? I wasn't married, right? So I was living in Southern California, but I didn't live in LA at that time. So and things weren't maybe they weren't as expensive then. I live in Ontario, right, which is about an hour and a half from Los Angeles. But get this, my first job was in LA, right? So I drove an hour and a half each way. But to me, it wasn't about the money because it came with all the experience I had in the world. I mean, nothing would have changed that, right? So I wouldn't have given up anything for what the experience that I had with my first job was with Marriott, okay, as a housekeeping manager. Now I came in as a manager trainee, okay, so that's the difference, right? Now if I would have just went and applied for a job, I would have been a line level employee, which is fine. That's cool because no two people got in the industry alike, okay? Always remember that, and I always say that. So to me, it was a learning experience, and I quickly understood, how the game is played. Right? You get money, or you make more money based on the amount of moves that you make. Meaning, okay, you get trained in housekeeping. This is how I started. My first job was a housekeeping manager trainee. So I got trained, and then you move from that discipline to another discipline, from that discipline to another discipline, and then so on and so on and so on. So the more moves that I made, the more money that you were starting to make. And I wasn't really even paying attention to it, right? Because I was learning, right? That's all I really wanted to do was learn more about this hospitality industry because I knew nothing about it other tin I had a degree in it, right? But my experience was because when you got out, you needed 800 hours of work experience. My work experience was with a catering company. It was not with a hotel. So I knew nothing about a hotel. And it's funny that I got offered a job. My first job offer was not the housekeeping job with Marriott. This is when Sheraton was separate. Sheraton was ITT Sheraton back in the day, and so it was a separate company. And my first job offer was as a sales manager in New Orleans. And I'm like, well, I don't even know what a hotel is or how it operates. How am I going to sell it? So that's why I chose to go with Marriott because I knew Marriott was going to teach me from the ground up, right? I was going to learn housekeeping, and then I was going to go through all these different disciplines, and then I can apply that, later after I amassed this years of, maybe I think I did 7 years of ops experience, operation experience, and then went into sales because then I knew how each department, kind of interacted with each other, or you need this department to do this, and they have to be together on, whatever. Just the ins and outs of every department that I didn't know because I didn't come up in hotels, right? That was not my experience when I was in school. So to me, that $17,900 was all the money in the world. Okay. So I didn't look at the amount of money I was making. I was looking at the long term because I said, I'm going to be in this for a while, right? I didn't know that, but I did, I didn't come in the industry just to say, I'm just going to be here for a year and then get out, right? No, I came in because I needed to learn. I wanted to learn more things. The more hotels you went to, and I went to 14 different hotels in my career, right? Every hotel had its own issues or, challenges or whatever. So the more I went up in, different departments, the more hotels I went to, the more positions I held, I started to make more money, right? So I learned that kind of early on. The more you moved around, you weren't still getting that because normally if you stayed at one hotel, you're getting that cost of living increase was at 3% or 3.5% if you were lucky, whatever the heck it was. But I learned that if you left one company and went to another company, and that's when hotels were like, okay, I started with Marriott. They owned and managed the hotels. This was at the very beginning when, then AGHI came up and Maristar, which led to Interstate, which leads to Aimbridge. So I remember that whole transition when management companies and REITs started coming into the fold, right? That was a foreign concept at one time. Now it's commonplace now. So when I came up, I may have gone from Marriott to Marriott, but I went from managed to from a managed and owned property to a managed by someone else, managed by a third party. It could have been still been a Marriott product, but it was managed by somebody else, or it was owned and managed by somebody else. So it was different back then, right? It's like the wild, wild west moving around. But yeah. So the more I moved around, the more money I made, the more positions I got exposed to, right? So that's how I came in. So I wouldn't have changed it. In college, it was not only about the getting your degree or whatever. It's about the relationships that you built with people, right? So and growing up and learning life and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't just about that. It's a bigger picture. So what I say, I would say everybody needs to try it. That's what I would say. College ain't for everybody, but I would say you at least need to try it. That's what I say, because it's all about the experience, right? Like Cheryl Rogers says, it's all about the experience. And we just don't know where it's going to lead. And I changed my major several times, right? So it wasn't like I just came in and do this hospitality. I didn't know what the hell hospitality was. So I came in as a business major and kind of didn't know if that was the flow or the vibe that I really liked. And just being general business was not what I really wanted. And I ended up taking some classes at Cal Poly Pomona in hospitality management. And the first class I took, I remember it was like the concept of McDonald's. It was like it was a food and beverage 101. And then the professor was talking about McDonald's and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, this is interesting. So I took that and took another one, and it became more and more interesting. And then I started taking hotel related classes. Then I figured out that I don't want to go into food and beverage. So I'm like, food and beverage. I mean, I like to eat, yeah, but do I really want to? No, I don't want to do the food and beverage thing. So I had options. See, back then you only had a couple options. Now you have a plethora of options within the industry. So it's a lot different now than when I came in. So any update on your program? No update yet. Craig has a question. Any updates on my podcast hats and merchandise? No, I kind of, you know what? I haven't ordered anything new. I'm gonna do it based on when people need stuff. So when they ask me, because I just have a guy I can just call up and but I really haven't even thought about that, and I need to, because I'm wearing somebody else's stuff now, right? So, but yeah, thanks for the reminder, Craig. I appreciate that. And I see Paula C. She says, hello, Russell. Hey, Paula C. Paula C's out there in Brazil. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're international. Just in case you did not know, it's an international thing. We got an international vibe going on. So, but I appreciate you, Paula C. out there. Yeah. So, where's my and see, Craig, that you got me in trouble now. Paula C., your shirt is in. It's funny you should say that. It's still in the car. I haven't been to the post office. I'm sorry. You know, I'm gonna try to do that in the next couple of days. It's in the envelope. It's packaged up. I just have to take it to the post office, because I just can't put a stamp on it and send it to Brazil. Okay, so I have to take it in. But no, it's definitely here. It's definitely still in the car. I just haven't taken it to the post office. Policy, but you'll get it, policy. I'm sorry, but hey, it's good to hear from you. I appreciate you. So that is funny. That is funny. So Dylan, it's always exciting to see famous Brazilian textbook. Yes, policy from Cloudbeds. Yes. So make sure you follow. I know, Paula. I appreciate that. Make sure you follow Policy. The comment from Dylan says it's always exciting to see famous Brazilian tech spokeswoman Policy from Cloudbeds. Yeah. So follow Policy here on LinkedIn. Okay. So she does amazing collaborations. She's always talking about her company, her organization. That's Cloudbeds. So make sure you follow her. And then, no worries, just kidding. I know you're kidding, Policy, but we'll take care of you. We're gonna take care of you. because you'll be the only one in Brazil that has a Russell of Hotels shirt. So of course I'm gonna take care of you, Paula C. And Dylan Beaumont, you're too kind, my friend. Yes, that was a comment between Paula C. and Dylan. So no, I appreciate both of you guys. I appreciate you, Craig, for coming on as well. So yeah, so getting back to briefly that one thing that I was talking about with Lauren. Yeah, I don't think it. I think it's up to the individual if they want to go to school and pursue, I guess, hospitality management or whatever. I know few people that have. I know a lot of people that didn't. They went to school. I know a lot of people that didn't go to school and they're general managers and VPs of whatever their respective companies. So it doesn't matter. I just think you just have to have, because you got to put the work in. It doesn't matter what you did before you got in the industry. You got to work when you get here. Okay. I just think if you do come in with a degree from a college, and I don't think it matters what the degree is, I just think you may cut out a couple steps. And what I mean by that, I started off as a manager trainee. So I trained for, I don't remember what it was, 6 months or whatever, and got my own hotel, my own housekeeping department. You know what I mean? So I think it may eliminate a couple steps, but you still got to put the work in. It's still a grind, and you got to have the right attitude. You got to have a right mindset to start off in the hotel anyway, right? So I don't care how you start or where you came in, the front door, the back door, the side door, whatever. Or maybe they parachute you in. I don't care. You still got to put the work in, right? Because it's a different beast. It's a different animal. It's dealing with people. So if you don't like people, that ain't the place for you to be. Okay, so just because you get a job there don't mean you gonna stay. You know what I mean? So, but I just, like I said, for my kids, you know, none of them went into hospitality, and you know, and that's good, that's fine. But they all went to school, right? So you know, they had to go to school, and I mean they were going to go to school regardless. Okay, so I don't care what you major in or whatever, but they're going to school, and they did, and you know, they're doing their thing. So, and that's fine. What did Paula C say? Everything is unpredictable in hospitality. More than a degree, you need to work on your soft skills. Yes. There's a lot. Yes. You get more. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't learn the stuff that I use now. I didn't learn in school. I learned from the job. I learned from people teaching me. I learned from guests. I learned from other employees, right? Well, some good things and some bad things, right? So, but no, you're going to get that education when you get there. So, yeah, it does save a couple steps, though. I'm going to tell you, it does eliminate some steps, because a lot of people start off as managers instead of the line level. But is that a good thing or bad thing? It just depends on the person, right? But I can only go off of my own experience. That's all I always say. One thing I always keep 100 with people, and that means keep it level, keep it real. That everything I talk about is based on my experiences, not based on anyone else's, not based on what someone told me, okay, about the industry. No, this is based on me, Russell Edmonds' experience. So yeah, so based on what I know, I just think you just have to have a mindset. I think it's more of a mindset than anything, because you got to know you're going to work, and you're going to work a lot of hours, and you may not initially make a lot of money. Okay. But I didn't come into it. I don't think I did any job just for the money. Right. And when I got in the hotel industry, I was like, this is fun. This shit is fun. And I just enjoyed it. And then, you know, if you take advantage of all the perks, like the travel and all that stuff. I remember Marriott had this thing where it was Continental Airlines, and Continental Airlines is not around anymore. I don't know what it became. But they had a discount where you can fly anywhere at continental U.S., which included Hawaii, for like, I don't know, it was like $175 anywhere. Okay, and anywhere in the United States, which included Hawaii, for like $175. It was something crazy. And you know, I took advantage of that thing several times. And of course, back then, the hotel, you had different tiers, right? So your courtyards would be $29. Your, I guess maybe full service Marriott would be $39, and like your high end, like maybe I guess a JW, maybe whatever the highest level Marriott at that time was like 59. So $59 was the highest you're gonna pay for your room. Okay, providing they had they were offering the employee rate. So man, I went everywhere on that thing. So just like Lauren takes advantage of, her employee discounts, I don't think we do enough of that. We need to take more advantage. If you don't, you like I said, you need to, you need to get out and take advantage of those things, those perks that hotels do give their employees. So there you go. What did Paula say? However, education is important too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. But like I said, I didn't learn any of the stuff that I learned that I know now. I didn't learn from the school. I learned from on the job training, because schools teach you a lot of theory, right? They don't teach you that employees sometimes don't go with the flow. They don't tell you that employees will threaten you and how do you deal with them. They don't tell you that there's a difference between a union hotel and a non-union hotel, and the agreements and all that kind of stuff. They don't tell you all of that stuff. They don't, they'll say that people throw stuff at you, in the restaurant. Well, how do you deal with that? They don't tell you that employees sometimes don't go to work, and sometimes they don't, no call, no show. What does that even mean, no call, no show? What does that mean? They didn't tell me that I need to clean 18 rooms as a housekeeper. When I was training, they didn't tell me I was going to be cleaning 18 rooms. They didn't tell me that. Marriott told me that. Okay? They didn't tell me about SOPs or standing operating procedures that a lot of the big companies have, and you follow them. That's the Bible. They didn't tell me that. I learned that on the job. So it doesn't matter, like I'll just end it at this. It doesn't matter how you come in, the front, the back, the side door, it doesn't matter. You still got to put in the effort and the work, right? And you got to be a people person. If you don't like people, this ain't the place for you. There you go. So, okay, and I got one more thing to talk about, but thank you, Lauren Brown. So if you don't follow Lauren Brown on on LinkedIn, please do so you can see the article that was written about her. I thought it was dope. Dopalicious. Is that a word? Hotel safety. Now, if you notice, this is the Ace Hotel. I'm just rolling out of bed at the Ace Hotel downtown LA. So hotel safety. So this was a video that someone sent me a video yesterday. It had to do with hotel safety. And I was like, is this still going on? I really did it tick me off? Yeah, I think it did. It ruined my day. I was like, are we still dealing with this? So someone, I think it was Rosie Bell Vega, she sent me this thing that she saw on TikTok. And they had to do and go to my Instagram. Oh no, not Instagram. You can go to my Facebook. You can go to my LinkedIn. You can go to my Twitter page, and you'll see it. It's basically a 3-minute video about, I can't think of the news source, but they did it. You know how they do these exposés where they go to hotels and they try to get in the room, or they try to go to the front desk and ask for a room key, without asking for ID. That's what this situation is about. So this has been going on I remember the first, news sources were reporting on this in the 90s, and then when the 2000s, and now still going on. I'm like, have we not learned anything? And this goes for Inside Edition. Okay, thank you. The news source was Inside Edition, so which is a nationally, televised thing, probably internationally televised thing these days. So basically, there's two parties to this, right? First and foremost, hotels need to, what are we doing? Are we I know we're teaching people, but are we following up to make sure that our people are doing what they're supposed to be doing when it comes to asking for identification? And the scenario is this. I come to the front desk and I say, hey, I got locked out of my room. I went to go work out. I got locked out of my room, and I need another key. And what room are you in? I'm in room 123. And they just give me a key without asking me for my identification. Boom, red flag. That's not how it should work. They should always ask for your identification to make sure that's your room, right? Well, in the Inside Edition piece, several people were given room keys without getting any identification. And it ended up, a lady was assaulted in a room for hours, from what I understand, from what the report says. Um, and so, I mean, and then the producer of the show, he wanted to see if it works for him, see if he can go to a hotel. They went to at least two different hotels, and these were world reputable hotel. You know, the big H, the big M's. Okay, these were not like, you know, small that you never hotels you never heard of, right? No, they were brands that you've heard of, and the producer goes back and tries to do the same thing, and they give it to him as well. They don't ask for ID. They don't even ask for his name. I'm like, is this still happening? So I posted this because I want people to see it. I want people to share it because it's still happening, and people are getting assaulted, and you know, but there's some responsibility on the guests too. Okay, so I'm not saying it's all hotel because it starts there though. It starts there, but as a guest, when you check into a hotel room, and then I do this all the time. As soon as I walk in that door and close it behind me, I don't care if I'm just dropping things off or whatever. Maybe I need to use the restroom before I go, whatever. I'll latch the door. As soon as I close it, click, click. I'm latching both of those things because I don't know who's following me. I don't know why they want to mess with me anyway, but you never know someone's motive, right? So, and you know, and sometimes we need to look at our surroundings too, like what is going on. But sometimes people are discreet and people are good at being bad. Okay, so there you go. But make sure, especially if you're traveling alone, as soon as you walk in that door, close it, deadbolt it, because the key won't unlock a deadbolt. Okay, it will lock if it's not deadbolted. It'll unlock it if it's not deadbolted. But make sure the latch is on there, whatever kind of latch they have on there. At least that's a preventive measure, right? They maybe can kick it off, but at least it's going to take them a couple minutes to do that. At least you can run to the door, slam it, or whatever. It gives you some time to do something, right? But if we don't do that, then what the heck, right? So make sure as soon as you walk in that door, deadbolt it. Click, click. Okay, however many locks are on that damn door, lock them. Okay, don't rely on just the regular thing because they can quickly bypass that. If you have a key, click, you can just go on in. But if it, you know, I mean, I don't know how many times like when I'm checking rooms, right? So back in the day, you know, when I'm working on property, I would check rooms, right? Even as a director of sales and marketing, I check 5 rooms a day. And sometimes the rooms that I had were given out, meaning they were sold to guests, right? And I didn't friggin' know because, you know, I got them in the morning and, you know, shame on me for not checking, right? So it is my fault, right? Shame on me for not double checking with the front desk. Hey, I have these showrooms. Are they still available? You know, towards the end of the day, sometimes, you know, the front desk sells those rooms. Okay, I got you. I understand. And it's my fault for not checking. So, you know, make sure you check those things, right? Salespeople. So what I did one day, I go to a room, knock on the door. I always knock on the door regardless if it's a showroom or not. Knock on the door, housekeeping or whatever, however you want to, you know, want to be greeted or whatever. Announce yourself. And then I proceeded to walk in the door, and I hit as soon as I opened the door, I hit the latch, the emergency latch. Boom. I knew somebody was in the room. Who's there? Who's there? Oh, I'm sorry, hotel manager. Did you just check in? I just want to make sure your room's okay. You know, and then you throw some stuff in there. And they're like, oh, no, everything's fine. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I normally check rooms, and I didn't know if somebody had been checked into this room, right? Is everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. Thank you so much. Okay. Boom. I'm gone, right? So they did what they're supposed to do. They latched that door, right? Because if they didn't latch the door, I just would have walked in, right? And, you know, God knows what I've seen because I've walked in on other stuff too. But, so yeah, so just make sure. So this is 2 messages. This is a message to the hotel staff. Make sure we're enforcing this and we're making sure we are, you know, getting identification from people that are checking in. And then 2, the guests that are staying in the hotel, make sure that when you check into your room, the first thing you do once you enter your room is to close the door and lock it, latch it, double bolt it, whatever the heck may be. We need to make sure we're doing that. Okay. So that is it. So I just wanted to, Dylan said Inside Edition. Yeah. So those are the comments. So see, this is fun. See, this is a way I'm able to show the comments. I appreciate everybody that came on. Of course, Dylan, Paula C. It's been a while since I talked to Paula C. So it's always great. Craig Giangrosso, thank you so much. He's out there in Houston. So yeah, so no, I appreciate everybody that comes on. These lives don't have to be long, but you know what? This was important for me to talk about the hotel safety issue. So there you go. So you guys have a great day. Thank you again. I do these lives. Remember, I do these lives every Monday through Friday. Time is unknown, but if you follow me, like if you subscribe to my LinkedIn page or YouTube, you'll get notifications when I come on. So just go to my YouTube page and hit the subscribe, bing, and every time I go live, and you'll see, oh, Russell's live. Let me go see what the hell he's talking about, because he's always talking crazy or something. But anyway, whatever the case may be. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I also want to thank, people ask me, well, how do you choose which background that you use? Two things. Well, this week I was at the Ace Hotel for lunch, and I know Natalie Finzi, who's the director of sales and marketing. And today I text her because I needed something from her. I needed like a gift certificate for something, for like a silent auction for this organization that I belong to, that I've been involved with for like 15 years. And they needed a couple, silent auction items. So I reached out to Natalie, and she said, yeah. I said, hey, can I have you think you can donate whatever, blah, 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 overnight stay? And she said, yeah, I'll take it even a step further. I can do this, and this. So I said, wow, you can do all that? Yeah, I'll do that. I said, okay, thank you. So I appreciate when people do things like that on the fly. I mean, she didn't have to do that, right? I called her and asked for it just like that, right? Just like 20 minutes ago. Well, before this live, so this live's been going 47 minutes, so it wasn't 20 minutes ago. So let's say an hour ago, I reached out to her, and she said, yeah, I'll get it taken care of today. So I appreciate that stuff. So, of course, I'm going to mention the Ace Hotel. This is the Ace Hotel, and I think the slide before was the Ace Hotel too, right? So this is their rooftop restaurant. And if you can see over here, I don't know if you can see my cursor, right where the Ace, you see that moving around, that's the bar is over there, so you can't see it, but the bar is there. And this is, you got views of the city, downtown. So it's just a great place to hang out. And this is one of their guest rooms. So it's kind of funky. It's a vibe, you know what I mean? The Ace Hotel, it's a funky vibe. And I love that about some of the downtown properties, that they're not traditional, right? They're not that traditional conservative hotel. They're funky, right? And they're not afraid to be funky and to let you know that this is us. We're funky. Either you roll with us or not, okay? So I appreciate all that. I love those hotels, right? And the building was built in the 20s, right? So you're going to get a different kind of vibe in a building that was built in 1920 versus one that was built in the 2000s. So there you go. So I love the brand. Thank you so much, Natalie. I do appreciate you. Just on the fly, just did that. So like I said, I don't take that stuff lightly, and I always thank people. So there you go. So that's it. You guys have a great day. We'll do this again tomorrow. And remember, I do On Air with Russell of Hotels, my live hospitality talk show that comes on every Tuesday. My dailies come on every day, Monday through Friday. But I do have a show that goes for about an hour where I have hospitality professionals come on and talk about their stories and things like that. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, just reach out. Reach out, in touch. And we'll make it happen. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you again. Happy Thursday. And I think that's it. Peace.